You're not broken, you're rebuilding. One of the biggest reasons we get stuck in a cycle of inconsistency, burnout, or self-sabotage is because we don't trust ourselves anymore. Maybe you've said, I'll do it tomorrow 100 times. Maybe you've quit a goal halfway through. Maybe you've made a million promises to yourself that you've never kept, and now your inner voice is cautious, skeptical, unmotivated, not because you're lazy or incapable, but because the inner trust within you has been fractured. But the good news, trust, like any relationship, can be rebuilt gently, intentionally, honestly. And this is an excerpt from section 7 of my new ebook, The End of Starting Over, Your Guide to Healing, Growth, and Consistency. If you are interested in purchasing the book, ready to take your journey seriously, or just want to follow along, the link to the book along with a free reset ritual will be down below in the show notes or the description. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of This Is For The Soul, and I am your lovely host, Brianna Sade. On this podcast, we talk about all things mental health, personal development, spirituality, girl talk, you name it, we're going to talk about it. For this episode, we are now diving into section 7, and we're talking all about trust. This is section 7 in the series, but this is actually a real follow-up from part 6 because I feel like they go hand in hand. And I have touched on trust a lot, and trust is one of the biggest things, self-trust, because we've already talked about consistency, we've already talked about discipline, and once you have those both, it now all leads you to here, and that is rebuilding the trust within yourself. Now, trusting yourself is like one of the best feelings in the world because when you believe in yourself, you stop needing the outside validation, and it's not so easy for you to get thrown off every time someone projects their own inner fears and doubts onto you. You have your own foundation, your own anchor, something that you've built yourself that you're able to stand on. But when you lose that trust, every goal then feels shaky. And that does happen sometimes. Every plan feels temporary, and the inner voice will start to whisper that I don't believe you anymore, because there are plenty of times where we do trust ourselves, but then there are periods where we may get a little clouded or lost in the sauce, and we allow our own judgment to kind of slip away from us. This all goes back to the brain. Just like other people can project onto you, you can project onto yourself. And if you've made promises to yourself and you've not followed through, your brain will start to then learn those words that don't really mean much. And that is when it starts to dismiss things. And actions, they speak louder than affirmation. Believe it or not. I know we talk a lot about affirmations and how they help you, and how, when you say things, the more you say them, you believe them. But actions, they speak a lot louder than affirmations, especially when it comes to you trying to get yourself to believe that you are capable of doing something. You can say, I'm going to do this all day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But if you don't follow through and you just don't actually take action on what you say, then your brain is not going to believe you. That's why they say confidence is a muscle. That's why they say you can't always just look in a mirror and say, I'm this, I'm that, because you can say that all day. But if you don't act on those actions, if you don't act on those words that you're saying, then you're not going to believe them at all. So it goes hand in hand with saying, believing, and doing. And that is the only way to rebuild trust with your brain, through action. That means mean what you say. Start small. Keep one promise to yourself every day. Follow through, even if it's the bare minimum. Build momentum slowly, like rebuilding a muscle after an injury. Okay? It's not going to happen to you overnight. And every time you follow through, you're showing your brain, see, I can count on me. And with that time, that muscle, that strength, it just grows stronger and stronger and stronger over time. So when it comes to trusting and rebuilding self-trust, here are some shifts that have helped me. So one thing I've learned to do is stop overpromising. Meaning, like, I have had to learn to stop setting goals that intimidate me. Don't set myself up for failure, but start with something that's realistic, something that's not going to be scary, because goal setting can be scary. And when you place expectations on yourself that are so high, it's intimidating. And it can be exciting in the beginning, but then it becomes draining and dreadful, because it's like, is this something that I'm really meant to work towards? Is this something that's really meant for me to be going after? And it could be, but it just might not be at the capacity that you want it yet. Next is reframe failure. Every attempt, even if messy, it counts as evidence that you're trying. So if you start something and you fail 50 million times, it doesn't matter if you're the best at something. It doesn't matter if you're the worst at something. At least you tried. Think of it like that. There are 1,000,001 things in this world that you could do. And there are a lot of things that you might not be good at. There are a lot of things that you could use some more work at. But if you don't try, you'll never get better. And if you don't try, you'll never know, right? So if you fail at something, if you feel like you've attempted to do something and it's not going your way, it's okay. Because at least you showed up, at least you tried. Trying is more important. Showing up is more important. Putting in a small, tiny bit of effort is important. And lastly, celebrate your follow-throughs. Whenever you've decided to choose yourself or follow through, acknowledge it. Acknowledge the times that you actually did your thing. Your brain needs that time. Your brain needs that recognition, because when you acknowledge the fact that you actually followed through and you did what you said, your brain is going to look at you and not your brain gonna look at you, but like your brain is going to recognize, like, damn, she's serious. She means what she says. She's about her shit, because she actually did it. But don't just do it one time and then not follow through again. You have to be consistent. And that's where the consistency comes through. It's the consistency that builds up the discipline, that builds up the self-trust. Trust isn't about perfection. It's about showing up consistently enough to start believing in yourself again. So the more that you show up for you, the more that you pour into you, the more that you make decisions that are best for you, the more that you will start to believe in yourself again. The more that you'll start to see that things aren't that bad. So let me leave you with this. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. Your trust in yourself, it might feel fractured, but it can be repaired. Keep one promise to yourself today, and then another tomorrow. And then over time, you will relearn what it feels like to believe in yourself again. If this episode resonated with you, remember that this is section 7 from my new ebook, The End of Starting Over, Your Guide to Healing, Growth, and Consistency, with a free reset ritual guide that will help you get back on track and redefine your relationship with consistency, self-discipline, trust. And if that is something that you are interested in, it is linked in the description and the show notes down below. And if you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend who needs to hear it. Leave me a review, because it means a lot. And if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here still creating content for the soul. I love you guys, and I thank you so, so, so much. Here's to part 7. Bye. Mwah.